In the dead of night, in a remote village on the mysterious island of Haiti, an eerie silence hung heavy in the air. The moon cast an otherworldly glow over the landscape, illuminating the shrouded figures moving stealthily through the darkness. These figures were not the stuff of horror. They were real people, entrapped in a nightmarish existence that defied explanation. Imagine for a moment a world where the line between life and death blurs into a twisted dance of the macabre. These are the unsettling accounts of real-life zombies. This phenomenon has captivated the human imagination for centuries. But what if I told you that zombies in a form far more chilling than we see on the silver screen exist in our world today? In this video, we're going deep into the unsettling realm of real zombies, where science, nature, and the supernatural converge to create a chilling reality beyond your darkest nightmares. So join me on this creepy-ass journey as we uncover the truth about actual zombies. In this creepy-ass video, we're going to explore some fucked up real zombie occurrences. To start out, we'll embark on a historical expedition, unearthing the mysterious origins of zombies. Our trip will take us to the eerie, distant corners of Haitian folklore, where these creatures first emerged. We'll untangle the intricate web of beliefs and practices that birthed the concept of zombification. Next, we'll take a scientific direction as we investigate the perplexing realm of zombie-like behavior in the real world. We'll shed some light on rare neurological disorders capable of inducing eerie zombie-like symptoms in folks. This exploration will blur the boundaries between fact and fiction, revealing that reality can occasionally venture into the eerie territory of our favorite horror stories. Then our quest will lead us to the crossroads of myth and truth as we tackle chilling real-life cases of zombie attacks. We'll meticulously unravel the mysteries behind these incidents and explore some possible explanations. Additionally, we'll delve into the eerie world where individuals willingly transform themselves into the semblance of zombies through the sinister embrace of illicit drugs. Get ready for a spine-tingling journey into the world of real-life zombies that will challenge your understanding of these frightening creatures. Embarking on our exploration of the origins of zombies, we begin on a mystic journey to the enchanting shores of Haiti, where the genesis of this chilling phenomenon lies steeped in centuries-old traditions and cryptic rituals. In the heart of this captivating Caribbean nation, Haitian folklore intricately weaves a tapestry of beliefs and practices that birthed the concept of zombies. At the core of this phenomenon are rituals that are performed in the shadowy depths of the Haitian night. These rituals, often shrouded in secrecy, involve a complex blend of voodoo and indigenous traditions. They're conducted by skilled practitioners known as bokers or houndgans. Through rituals, they harness the powers of nature herbs, and sacred symbols to invoke spirits and deities, seeking to manipulate the delicate balance between life and death. Like the movie Serpent and the Rainbow. It is within the context of these rituals that the unsettling concept of zombification takes form. Victims of these rituals are believed to be transformed into the living dead, stripped of their will and autonomy, and forced into a state of eternal servitude. The details of these ceremonies vary, but they often involve the administration of a mysterious powder, such as the pufferfish toxin, tetrodotoxin, which can induce a death-like state in individuals. Bokers administer these substances, temporarily paralyzing and reducing vital signs in their victims. The victims, once revived, often experience memory loss and cognitive impairment, which can contribute to their perception as zombies. The results are absolutely terrifying. The concept of zombification carries immense cultural weight in Haiti. It isn't merely a matter of fear or superstition. It's a reflection of deeply ingrained beliefs and societal structures. Those who are subjected to this ordeal, the zombies, lose their identity and become enslaved to the will of the voodoo practitioner responsible for their transformation. This loss of self, this stripping away of individuality, taps into the primal fears shared by many cultures. The fear of losing control over one's destiny. That happens to me every election. Zombification in Haitian society is not merely a tale of horror. It delves into complex narratives that blur the boundaries between life and death, power and vulnerability, and the spiritual and the corporeal. Haitian zombies are not the brain-devouring, relentless creatures we commonly encounter in movies and TV. Instead, Haitian zombies are subservient slaves to a voodoo practitioner. Along the same lines, only quite a bit darker, is the macabre. You don't know how many times I had to practice saying that, and I still fuck it up. This is the term of the Hausa people, an ethnic group predominantly found in West Africa. Macabre is translated to mean the one who rises from the dead. It refers to the belief that certain individuals, often described as practitioners of black magic, have the ability to reanimate the dead. They can bring corpses back to life, or at least a semblance of life. These reanimated beings are under the complete control of the sorcerer who raised them. The motivations for creating these real-life zombies can vary. Some accounts suggest that they're created as instruments of harm, used to carry out malevolent deeds on behalf of the sorcerer. Beliefs in Macabre are deeply rooted in the cultural and spiritual traditions of the Hausa people. These beliefs are often interwoven with broader practices related to spirituality, witchcraft, and the supernatural. Overall, Macabre is an example of the rich tapestry of beliefs in African folklore and spirituality, where the boundaries between the natural and the supernatural are often fuzzy, and where individuals with unique abilities have control over the forces of life and death. Our journey into the world of real-life zombies takes a chilling turn as we delve into the realm of rare neurological disorders that can turn you into a zombie. These disorders offer a stark reminder that the line between fact and fiction can sometimes be clouded in the most unexpected and unsettling ways. In many unfortunate cases, individuals experience a dramatic alteration in their behavior and mental faculties due to these neurological conditions. While they may not seek out living brains to eat, their symptoms are nothing short of creepy. We'll start out with the baffling Cotard syndrome. This strange affliction, believed to be born from a twisted, malfunctioning mind, steals the very essence of self. Peering into neuroimaging studies, we uncover grotesque alterations lurking within the shadowy recesses of the frontal and temporal lobes, the domains of self-awareness and reality itself. From this bizarre transformation emerges the macabre delusion of being dead. One case study reports the situation of a 53-year-old woman who was complaining that she was dead. Smelled like rotting flesh and wanted to be taken to the morgue so that she could be with other dead people. Greek doctors also treated a 72-year-old woman who went to the ER claiming all her organs had melted. Only her skin remained and that she was practically dead. That's just fucked up there. Now, let's creep into a zombie-like viral outbreak and its potential consequences. A scenario that is grounded in the realm of scientific possibility. One virus that is very similar to zombification is rabies. Rabies, just like the zombie shows, spreads through bites and scratches from infected animals, and it eats away at the brain. When the cerebellum goes offline, rabies victims stumble around in an agitated, zombie-like state. Frothing at the mouth usually occurs, along with sickening, gurgling sounds. Muscle spasms, hallucinations, loss of coordination and balance, seizures, and paralysis of limbs are common symptoms once the virus has taken hold. Rabies are preventable through vaccination, but only if administered immediately after exposure to the virus. However, if you start to show these symptoms, it's too late. Death typically occurs within a few days after the onset of symptoms. All right, let's take a look at some real zombie attacks and encounters. These are some terrifying instances where folks have grappled with the eerie phenomenon of individuals turning into zombies. One of the earliest documented cases hails from Haiti. Shocker! When Felicia Felix Mentor died in 1907, it was a shock to the village of Eerie when, in October 1936, 29 years later, she wandered into town, dazed and disheveled. She would alternately refer to herself in first and third person, and at times would laugh maniacally for no reason. Dr. Lewis P. Mars hypothesized that Mentor's reappearance was either a case of mistaken identity or severe schizophrenia. But writer Zora Neale Hurston insisted believable locals had told her Mentor's state was the result of pharmacological zombification. Try saying that 3 times fast. Go ahead, I'll wait. See, not so easy. In more recent history, zombie attacks have occasionally made headlines. These incidents typically involve individuals exhibiting bizarre and unsettling behavior, which were interpreted as signs of zombification. This story was big news back in May 2012, especially given the eerie footage of the incident that made the rounds on the internet. I remember it. Miami resident Rudy Eugene stripped naked and attacked a homeless man, Ronald Papo, eating about 80% of the man's face. When police arrived at the scene, they were forced to open fire on the belligerent Eugene. He took far more bullets than his body should have been able to withstand before finally dropping. It was originally theorized that Eugene had ingested bath salts, but toxicology reports revealed only trace amounts of marijuana in his system, leaving the explanation for his zombie-like attack a complete mystery. He had a bad case of the munchies. Florida was already on the cannibalistic, zombie-related attack map with the infamous Miami case, but that was apparently not enough for the Sunshine State. Hell no, of course not. In August 2016, a 19-year-old college student, Austin Haroof, stormed away from a restaurant in Jupiter, Florida, where he'd been dining with his parents, apparently upset over the slow service there. He then wandered into a neighborhood where a couple, Michelle Michon and John Stevens III, sat in their garage with the door open, enjoying a quiet evening. Haroof pulled out a switchblade on the couple and stabbed them to death without provocation. A neighbor attempted to intervene and called 911, but was also stabbed by Haroof. When police arrived, they found Haroof naked, ripping away chunks of the couple's flesh and eating it. He was also growling, grunting, and making animal noises. Jesus Christ! Repeated use of stun guns and a police dog could not sway Haroof from his meal. Finally, 3 officers had to pry the man off the bodies by force. What makes this case especially strange is that Haroof, prior to this bizarre crime, was a level-headed model student. He had been hanging out with some of his fraternity brothers prior to joining his parents for dinner, but his toxicology report came back clean. Police were left baffled at Haroof's behavior. Just what exactly snapped in this man to prompt such a gruesome crime? Apparently, slow food service. This case was observed by researchers in Haiti in 1996. Fee was around 30 years old when she died after a short feverish illness, and was buried by her family the same day in the family tomb next to the house. Next to her house? That's strange in itself. 3 years later, she was recognized by a friend wandering near the village. Her mother confirmed her identity by a facial mark, as did her 7-year-old daughter, her siblings, other villagers, her husband, and a local priest. She appeared mute and unable to feed herself. Her parents accused her husband of zombifying her due to him finding out she had an affair. A local court authorized the opening of her tomb, which was mysteriously full of stones. Her parents decided not to take her home, and she was admitted to a psychiatric hospital in Port-au-Prince. It was later determined that the woman likely suffered from catatonic schizophrenia. However, just how she managed to emerge from her tomb, fill it with rocks, and wander home isn't explained. Clairvius Narcissus died on May 2, 1962, after admitting himself to the hospital in a town in Artibonite Valley of Haiti. He had been suffering from a plethora of ailments, but no direct cause for his symptoms could be determined. 18 years later, in 1980, his sister Angelina saw Narcissus in a marketplace. He recounted the memories of his own death, including being buried alive. He had been placed in a death-like state by a voodoo priest, and after being dug up, he was taken to a plantation to serve as a zombified laborer. He escaped after 2 years of slavery and wandered the Haitian countryside, only willing to return to his village when his brother, whom he believed to have made the deal with the priest that turned him into a zombie, had finally died. A researcher named Wade Davis later investigated Narcissus' case and discovered the key to zombification, namely the use of the datura plant. According to Patrick D. Hahn of Biology Online, the datura plant contains hallucinogens and induces delirium, confusion, psychosis, and just complete amnesia. It was never conclusively determined, however, whether or not this substance was actually used on Narcissus. In very specific circumstances, it's possible for a clinically dead individual to be revived and make a full recovery, effectively reanimated, a la Frankenstein. Such was the case with Anna Bagenholm, who in 1999 lost control while skiing in the Jolin mountain range and plummeted through a thin layer of ice covering a stream. Friends pulled Bagenholm from the freezing waters several minutes later. Medical personnel rushed her to the hospital, but eventually Bagenholm's heart stopped. However, the head of emergency medical treatment at the hospital believed the frozen temperatures had actually kept her alive. David Cox of The Guardian explains, "While lowering the body temperature will stop the heart, it also reduces the oxygen demand of the body and, in particular, the brain cells. If the vital organs have been sufficiently cooled before the cardiac arrest occurs, then the inevitable cell death from the lack of circulation will be postponed, buying emergency services extra time to try and save the person's life." And this was exactly the circumstance in Bagenholm's case. After over 3 hours without a heartbeat or any vital signs, she began to slowly revive. The woman went on to make a full recovery, proving that sometimes death is truly not the end. That sounds a lot like cryogenics, don't it? Sleeping disease runs rampant in African countries, affecting tens of thousands every year. It's described by Professor Sanjeev Krishna of St. George's, University of London, like this. "At first, it will cause headaches, aching muscles, and maybe itching. But in the late stages, when the parasites have invaded the brain, the signs become more obvious and ominous. Victims find it hard to concentrate. They become irritable. Their speech is slurred and they stop eating. Their daily rhythm becomes disrupted to such an extent that they can't sleep at night and find it almost impossible to stay awake during the day. Sounds like my schedule. It even becomes very hard for them to do simple mental tasks, such as drawing a straight line. This is an infection that carries nightmarish qualities, reducing many of its victims to a zombie-like state before they go into a coma and die. In April 2016, Chad Feeney, a man living in Birmingham, England, had the top part of his ear bitten off by a man at the YMCA where he had been living. Was his name Mike Tyson? Feeney told police that he came into the commons room after a night of drinking and struck up a conversation with the man. They got onto the topic of food, at which point the man told Feeney his favorite food was rare steak. The man then leaped onto Feeney and began munching on his ear. It sounded to Feeney like someone eating lettuce. He further stated that there was a massive chomp, and then there was blood everywhere. He had blood all over his mouth and was laughing maniacally. The man was apparently evicted from the YMCA before police arrived and left to wander the streets in search of his next meal. Man, that's pretty eerie. Yeah! I'll be here all night. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. There are illicit substances on the shadowed streets that can give an individual an appearance and mannerisms akin to those of the undead. We're going deep into the frightening world of chemical concoctions that make people look and act like the living dead. In our exploration of these real-life zombies, the first substance we'll delve into is the ominous combination of fentanyl laced with xylazine. This chilling cocktail, lurking in the darkest corners of the illicit drug trade, holds the power to shroud individuals into an unsettling veil of zombification. Fentanyl is already a powerful drug with a high potential for overdose. The drug is 50 times more potent than heroin. Xylazine, also known as tranq, is a medication approved for veterinary use to sedate animals like horses and dogs. The drug reduces pain and relaxes muscles, while also lowering blood pressure and heart rate. However, the combination of xylazine with fentanyl has creepy and sinister side effects. Its primary effect is profound sedation and lethargy in humans. Users may appear extremely drowsy, slow-moving, and unresponsive. It can cause muscle weakness and loss of coordination, leading to unsteady movements and difficulty walking, which could be perceived as limping. Users exhibit confusion, disorientation, and a decreased ability to communicate, which could be interpreted as zombie-like behavior. It can numb the senses and reduce pain perception, leading to a lack of responsiveness to painful sensations. It leads to slowed or irregular breathing, resembling the shallow and labored breathing associated with zombies. It lowers body temperature significantly, causing users to feel cold, pale, and clammy. Xylazine causes injury to blood vessels in the skin, leading to the death of skin tissue and the development of slow or non-healing wounds. After repeated use, the user will develop large skin lesions on their arms and legs that ooze colored pus. Ew! If not treated, they become infected and spread to deeper tissue in joints and bones. Some people who have had extensive tissue death have undergone the amputation of their limbs. Even scarier is that while Narcan will bring a user back who overdoses on fentanyl, it has no effect on xylazine. So if you overdose on xylazine, you're pretty much fucked. Another synthetic drug, Flocka, also known as the zombie drug, is a newer generation of bath salts. People who use it have gone mad and went on violent zombie-like rampages. Some people develop delirium, often referred to as a zombie-like state, where the person is catatonic, not responsive, hallucinating, and delusional. It makes people move like zombies, jerking and contorting in an unnerving and inhuman way. Sometimes their heads will drop down below their shoulders. Other times, their limbs will stiffen and shoot out. Flocka activates the fight-or-flight response in a person's brain, often turning them irrationally violent. At the same time, it causes paranoid, delusional fantasies, making them just come up with reasons to start fighting. I've known people that are naturally like that. It has even made people kill. Flocka rewires the brain chemistry. They have no control over their thoughts. They can't control their actions, and it seems to be universal that they think someone is chasing them. It can stop the sensation of pain. People overdosing on Flocka aren't just violent, they're completely fearless. Flocka gives its users super strength. Luckily, in the US, the supply has almost been eliminated. However, Flocka is still out there. Crocodile is a drug that rose to prominence in poor areas of Russia because of its potent opioid effects combined with the affordability and availability. If the potency of crocodile was not alarming enough, its side effects are stuff of horror movies. The drug gets its name from the gangrenous effect it has on the user's skin, as it literally eats tissue and flesh from the inside out. This often leads to open sores and wounds on users' flesh that leave their bones exposed. Nasty! It can also lead to incoherence, jerking motions, and shuffling or shambling steps. In other words, crocodile turns you into a zombie, technically alive, but in many ways, also dead. Our exploration of real-life zombies has been a chilling odyssey into the obscure and mysterious. From the enigmatic origins of zombification in Haitian folklore to the haunting realm of rare neurological disorders, our journey has eroded the separation between reality and fiction, challenging our perceptions of life and death. In the realm of viral outbreaks, rabies emerged as a close parallel to a zombie virus, with symptoms like frothing mouths and aggression eerily mirroring the classic undead archetype. These unsettling parallels serve as a stark reminder that reality can be as terrifying as the tales of fiction. We continued our expedition with disturbing accounts of individuals showing zombie-esque symptoms. From Felicia Felix Mentor's mysterious return to Haiti to the infamous Miami cannibal attack, These stories push the boundaries of belief and reality. As we delved into the world of illicit substances, we encountered drugs like fentanyl laced with xylazine, crocodile, and flocka, each possessing the unnerving power to transform individuals into eerie semblances of the living dead. These substances smear the fine line between life and lifelessness. Lastly, we witnessed real-life resurrections, such as Anna Bagenholm's miraculous revival after being clinically dead for over 3 hours. These instances remind us that the boundary between life and death is far more mystifying than we can comprehend. In conclusion, our journey through the world of real-life zombies has uncovered the obscure, the disquieting, and the unexplainable. As we step away from these tales, we must tread carefully in the realm of the uncanny, for the mysteries that dwell there are as captivating as they are unsettling. Before you go, I want to give you a huge zombified thank you for watching this far into my video. You are absolute troopers. Your support supercharges my passion for researching and reporting these weird and strange subjects. Your curiosity and engagement are what make these explorations worth it. And I appreciate you taking the time and interest in my macabre subjects. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my video. I appreciate it. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, stay creepy!